Hola amigos, ¿cómo están? Bienvenidos a The Council, bienvenidos al último episodio, al final de esta serie, así que no me voy a extender mucho con la intro. Les recuerdo que todos los videos son extraídos de mis directos en Twitch, así que les dejo el link en la descripción por si quieren pasar por ahí, donde hago streams todos los días. No los entretengo más, amigos. Último episodio, final de The Council.
His children are gathered together? Yes? Yeah.
O sea, ahora lo que hay que hacer es ordenar todas estas cosas en un orden cronológico, entiendo yo. Vamos a echar un primer vistazo a todo.
Charles.
He's talking about Charles-François d'Angennes and Françoise d'Aubigné. They were contemporaries of Louis XIV. This has nothing to do with what brought home here. I had to look somewhere else.
Vamos a escuchar todo y vamos a ir en orden. Entiendo.
Dear Countess Dunolstein, what a pity you disappointed me.
Mientras me salga
I
gratis.
heard about this story. The Countess was apparently an acquaintance of Sir Gregory, but this has nothing to do with what's happening at the manor. I can put that one to the side.
¿Cómo? A ver si podemos escuchar todo el...
Dear Countess Dunolstein, what a pity you disappointed me. Managed to swindle Lafayette for the damage he did to the Western monarchies. So full of remorse once it was done, I don't really regret making you steal the necklace and end up in a convent.
Ah, ok, ahí te dice todo el... Bueno, igual lo de analizarlo me sale gratis.
Countess Dunolstein.
Bueno, el último sabemos cuál es. O por lo menos, o sea, el último es el de... El que está allá. El del té. El único que tengo claro hasta ahora. Ahora, habla de que hay que descubrir cuál es el primer
Analysis is
motivo.
correct, but there's no link to what interests me here.
Tipo, el motivo por el cual, como...
It was a trap.
Previous conference? That's when Mortimer started putting his plan into action. That's how this whole thing began.
Bueno, ahí está. Ahí tenemos el primero. Esperá. O sea, yo lo que tengo que hacer... Lo que entiendo que...
From the start.
Claro, es una trampa del principio, ok. Entonces lo que entiendo que tengo que hacer es ir metiéndome en los cuadros en el orden.
I recall Spartacus.
Mientras sea
One of
gratis.
Holmes' distant memories and one of his brothers. With an ego like his, he's undoubtedly talking about Mortimer. Could there be a link here? No, at the time they weren't enemies like they are today.
And when Elizabeth disappeared,
Elizabeth's presence was crucial for Holmes. If she was still here, he'd still be alive. This memory is important without a shadow of a doubt.
Ah,
Took place
por
after
eso
my
la matan,
arrival in
Elizabeth.
Emily and Cardinal Biaggi, but well before I found out the truth about
Claro,
my
antes que
nature.
nosotros... Ok. Sí, está bien, por eso la matan a Elizabeth, porque era el cuerpo que usaba el padre para manifestarse.
he feeds Louis, and I continue to see nothing.
Mientras sea gratis.
Holmes seems certain that Mortimer has been using me, but I get the impression that he's only had this vision recently. It's one
Hola,
of the
tú
last ones he
sí.
had.
¿Qué haces, amigo? ¿Todo en orden? Ok. Entonces, tenemos en claro cuál es el primero. ¿No? Bien, amigo, todo tranquilo.
I recall
Hoy se termina The Council, así que... Resolviendo alguna cosa. Pensando, que mandamos el cerebro. Este sería el primero.
right from the start.
Vamos a escucharlo todo.
It was a trap right
Está
from the
bien, sí,
start.
este es el primero,
At the
claro.
previous conference 3 years ago, I'm sure he already knew I would bring the Hillsborough sisters here.
Okay.
He knew it. He knew
Claro,
it.
ya sabía el tipo que eran las
He knew they
cistas.
were his
Ok, ok,
daughters.
ok, está bien. Este es el primero, entonces. Este es el primero. Entonces ahora yo lo que tengo que hacer es seguir este recuerdo, imagino.
At the previous conference 3 years ago, I'm sure he already knew I would bring
This is
the
the first
Hillsborough
event that brought home here.
Perfecto.
Oh yeah, I'm on the right track.
Primer recuerdo encontrado. Bien. Ahora, el segundo, o sea, si estamos con la línea del tema de que las chicas, tiene que ser algo que hable de las chicas, claramente. No, Francia no. Porque estamos con el hecho de que trajo... A ver, ojo con este.
He allowed me to bring Emily to this conference, supposedly to find her sister, whereas Emma hadn't even disappeared yet. The poor wretch was shot as her sister was setting foot on the island. I should have understood that earlier.
No, este es el último, eso está clarísimo. Ahora, mi duda es si el que viene es este, que es nosotros llegando a la isla. ¿Ves? Nosotros. O este es el tercero. ¿Me explico? ¿Es este? No, me parece que es el otro, porque el otro habla de que Mortimer convence a Holmes de llevar a Emily a la conferencia. De hecho, el pañuelo dice H, ¿ves? Me permitió traer a Emily a esta conferencia.
He allowed me to bring Emily to this conference, supposedly to find her sister, whereas Emma hadn't even disappeared yet. The poor wretch was shot as her sister was setting foot on the island.
Y el otro es el tercero.
Should have understood that earlier.
Se armó. Es este y el otro es el tercero. Creo. O sea, sigamos con la línea de pensamiento. El tipo tenía todo preparado. Le dice a Holmes, trae a Emily para encontrar a la hermana. Mentira.
He allowed me to bring Emily to this conference, supposedly to find her.
I'm on the right track here.
Perfecto. Tenemos el segundo. Entonces el tercero es cuando a propósito, o sea, el que yo le dije antes, el de allá. No, el de allá. Sí, este es el último. El tercero es me trae a mí a propósito. O sea, casualmente vengo yo el mismo día que Emily. Este será el tercero. Vamos a escucharlo de vuelta.
And coincidentally, who arrives at the same time as Emily? Louis de Richet, his son. He brings his 4 children together, and even then I didn't react.
Clarísimo, este es el tercero.
And coincidentally, who arrives at the same time as Emily?
I'm getting closer to him.
Bien. Cuarto. Allá nos quedaron algunos todavía. Este es el último, eso está claro. No sé cuántos son. Ese es el último, eso está claro. Ya este no me deja entrar. A ver.
Ah, Charles François. Ah, Charles François. What an adventure. It was so easy for me to sell your title of Marquis de Maintenon to Françoise d'Aubigné and to sail for the Caribbean islands. One of my greatest successes. With one stroke, I placed myself right next to the King of France, with a mistress under my orders. And I was able to impose my law over the seas of the triangular trade.
Descartadísimo.
Anyhow, I should try to concentrate on his voice.
Dear Countess Dunolstein, what a pity you disappeared. Dear Countess Dunolstein, what a pity you
Ese me parece que también está descartado.
managed to swindle Lafayette for the damage he did to the
descartado.
Western monarchies. So full of remorse once it was done, I don't really regret making you steal the necklace and end up in a convent.
Ok. Descartado. Entonces hasta ahora vamos con... Llegamos a la isla. Emily y Emma acá. Casualmente llego yo. Esto de Francia no me va. Ese ya lo usamos. Esto era algo de pelea entre hermanos. No sé. Voy a ver el de allá atrás. No me acuerdo qué era.
feeds Louis.
He feeds Louis.
He feeds Louis, and I continue to see nothing. He stuffed his poor son with an occult knowledge that we usually take months to give to our children. And Louis is only trying his best to get by. He doesn't realize he's being led to the slaughter.
Está bien, esto no está lejos del momento que estamos. Es tipo decirle, hacerle entender a Louis los poderes que tiene.
And when Elizabeth disappeared, no, it's not possible. I couldn't have missed that.
Llegamos.
He cut me off from our father, and I didn't
Está bien, este es el que sigue. O sea, ya estamos en la isla. Llegamos. Lo siguiente que sigue en cuanto a sucesos es que se muere Elizabeth. Respecto al tema demonio, no las cosas que pasaron en el juguete, pasaron tantas cosas. Este es el cuarto. Mata a Elizabeth porque es el padre. Nosotros pensando que había matado a Elizabeth. El quinto es, le dice a Louis, sos un demonio, tenés poderes para hacer lo que se te canta la chota. O sea, es esto. ¿Me explico? O sea, toda la línea de pensamiento de Mortimer que arrancó hace 15 años. O sea, al final Mortimer era un reverendo hijo de puta.
Getting to the end here.
No, y el último que queda relacionado a los demonios es cuando la muerte. O sea, la muerte de la envenenada de Holmes. Esto habla de pelea entre hermanos. Ese ya lo usamos. Este habla de Francia, que no tiene un pito que ver. O sea, ponerle que pueda tener que ver por Napoleón y por Perú, pero con los demonios no tiene nada que ver. Ese lo usamos. Ese para mí es el final. Esto también habla de movidas políticas. Ese que está ahí también. El de allá, el que usamos recién. ¿Y qué al final? Hace la conferencia hace 40 años para traer a las hermanas. Trae a las hermanas. Coincidentemente vengo yo en el tercero. Mata a Elizabeth, que en realidad era el padre de demonio. Me hace a mí decir, che, sos demonio, sos crack, sos un fenómeno. Y lo envenena al otro. Este tiene que ser el último. Este tiene que ser el último.
The rascal knows me better than I do myself.
Sí.
And the cherry on the cake is I
No sé
drank
si
his
son...
cursed tea. He trapped me. He poisoned me to stop me from being able to leave this body. He cut off all communication with father.
Y rey.
Children here. How could I not have seen it earlier? He's going to absorb me. The traitor! No one can stop him now. Hurry, Louis. I absolutely must.
¿Quién te conoce, Sherlock? Ah, de hecho, se viene jueguito de Sherlock a fin de año. Se va a streamear, papi, Se va a streamear. Amo los juegos así, amigo. Me encanta. ¡Hostia! ¡Emancipado! Muy bueno el logro, amigo. Muy bueno el logro. Emancipado. Muy bien, tuvieron pillo. Las cartas de tarot. De referencia a lo de la puerta. ¿What? Opa. Amigo, ¿en qué se transformó este juego, por el amor de Dios?
Hurry! He's coming!
What's happening?
I can sense him. He's here. He's trying to get inside me, Louis. William has completely lost his mind. He's getting ready to pull out all the stops. He's going to devour my mind, Louis. I'm not going to be able to stop him.
Louis, you are here. I sense your presence.
What? But he can't even see me.
Congratulations, my son. You have succeeded in joining us.
Louis, don't let him draw you in there. You are signing your death warrant if you decide to follow him. I won't be there to protect you.
It's over, my son. We have won. A new order can be born.
Louis,
Opa.
I'm so weak. I can feel him entering. I can no longer keep him out. He's coming.
No. Sí. No está viniendo.
He's here.
I can. Can you see him?
He's here. He's coming closer to you.
Where? Louis. I don't want to just disappear. He's inside my mind. I can feel him crushing me.
He's just in front of you.
I'm so sorry, brother. There's nothing you can do to stop me now. You made your choice, and you have lost.
I was wrong about him from the very beginning. He's mad. He must be stopped. You can still do something, Louis.
Don't worry, son.
Father?
I am here.
¡Eh!
You can go in peace.
Father, I am sorry.
Don't be. You've been infallible right to the end. I am proud all those years watching you grow into who you are today.
But Father, I
Igual él
almost...
nos había dicho que
If
el
your
padre
brother
nos
had
iba
not
a-
been so malicious, you would still be with us. I am here now. I am going to take care of him. Count on me to...
What the fuck, amigo.
Stop! All of you! Leave now!
No entiendo nada. ¿Qué es esto? No entiendo nada, muchachos. O sea, ahora que el padre va... al final tenía razón con Matute. Va a empezar a volar gente, van a pasar en escoba, se van a empezar a tirar poderes. No sé, amigo. No sé. No tengo idea. Libro no tengo más. Tengo 4 puntos. Si llevo distracción a 3, subo algo. Distracción, no llego. Si llevo observación a 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, llego. Para desbloquear algo. Esto no llego ninguno, esto no llego ninguno. Vale, listo, observación a 3. Como para subir algo y se va la puta que lo reparió. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sí, 3. Como para desbloquear esto. ¡No! Ah, pues la tengo que asignar primero. Ya está. No me queda mucho. Ahí está. Laberinto psicológico. Supera la 15ª misión. ¡Ostras! Rasgo desbloqueado loco. Usar la habilidad de lógica te costará 3 puntos. Usar la habilidad de lógica me costará 3 puntos de refuerzos adicionales. Por haber leído el libro. Hijo de puta. A ver, Mortimer. ¿What?
William,
Calm down, Louis.
how dare you?
Louis?
Your own brother.
Father?
Gregory should have never trusted you. I knew he shouldn't have come here.
No, not now.
It's pointless trying to run.
Ve y enfréntate a Mortimer en el comedor. ¿Qué carajo, amigo? No creo que pueda hacer nada. ¿Qué voy a hacer, amigo? Yo estoy...
There's something I'd like to understand before we go any further.
Dios.
What is it that you'd like to know?
First, know that you are not responsible for your father's errors. However, you must answer for your own actions.
Ok.
Better tell him what he wants to know.
Ok.
Tell me, Louis, what is your share of responsibility in all this?
¡Me engañaron! He caído en una trampa. Pará, o sea... Este chabón no sé. ¿Qué inmune a qué? Si no sé. La realidad es esta. Porque sí, demuestra tu inocencia, sí. Me mintió, papá. Voté por Juan en la conferencia, yo no he hecho nada, no. Es la realidad esto. Sí, tengo los huevos de admitirlo.
Nothing at all. I was invited here to look for my mother, who had gone missing.
You mean your sister?
I didn't know that at the time. In any case,
Claro.
I didn't know anything about any of this.
Exacto.
I never even met your two sons. And the more time went by, the more the trap closed around me.
But you've survived so far.
Por supuesto, porque
You can
tengo
be proud of that.
dos huevos.
When you got wind of William's plans about the conference, did you tell Gregory?
Cuando te enteraste de los planes de William para la conferencia, ¿se lo dijiste a Gregory? Sí. Sí, se lo dijimos. Mentir no. Sí. Se lo dijimos. Yo le dije a Gregory los planes de Mortimer. Que de hecho tuve que convencer a todos una vez y después tuve que volver a convencer a todos porque teníamos que volver. Sí.
Yes,
Yo le
of
dije.
course. As soon as we left the conference room.
You were right to do so.
Sí, en
So,
ese momento ya ni sabía qué
what
estaba
did you
haciendo,
do
pero
to thwart William?
hice la carta, exactamente. ¿Y usted? Proteger a mis hermanas. Robé la lanza, también. Pero... no. ¿Qué has hecho para ajustar los planes de William? La carta del Vaticano. Está bien. Que me hice pasar por Piaggi.
When William asked me to enter Piaggi's mind in order to send a false letter to the Pope to discredit Gregory, I didn't do it. Without telling William, I wrote a very different letter instead.
I see. Congratulations. You did dare to take a few risks. We are almost done here, Louis. Tell me, in your opinion, what should I do with William?
Matarlo de una vez por todas, enterrarlo vivo, lo mismo que él le hizo a Gregory, perdonarlo. Conozco sus reglas. Se la podíamos poner, ¿no? Vale 15 puntos. Pero ya está, ¿en qué voy a gastar las cosas?
I know what he wants to hear. According to the family rules, we're not allowed to kill a family member.
I congratulate you, Louis. You have understood. I believe you have earned a place in our family. I cannot wait to
No
introduce
podés perder
you to the others.
esta
But first
confrontación,
of all,
porque tenés tres
William must pay for everything he
Igual lo
has
hicimos
done.
niquelado.
Let's go. Now, it's time to get this over and done with.
Pero ¿y qué van a hacer con Mort? No entiendo nada, amigo. No entiendo nada. Y lo único que falta es que me culpable yo.
William, Gregory should never have trusted you. I knew he shouldn't have come here. You evil little cockroach.
No, Father. Wait.
It's over, my son. You've gone too far this time.
Oh, Father. By the way, I have a little surprise for you.
Now what have you done?
Let me introduce you to my new servants. You know, I have studied our talents closely, and as you see, they
Do you really think that mutilating your servants so that they can't hear is going to save you?
Well, I admit that was the idea.
You are pathetic. On your knees.
Ah, I can feel you entering.
Your ego has always been your weakness, my son. You are your worst enemy. When will you understand that no lock is impenetrable?
Pero el papá es
If you're the only
es
one who
Jebús.
can master them, all I need to do is master you.
Stop! No!
You gambled. You lost.
Look, Louis. Look at him.
You broke the most important of our family rules, William. The one that gives meaning to all the others. Thou shalt not kill. Never, ever kill a member of our family. What's going to happen to him?
He will be buried alive. But don't worry about that. It is over. Everything that belonged to him is yours now. And I am proud to welcome you
Buena herencia.
among us.
Thank you.
You deserve to join us, Louis. You have great potential and many things to learn. Come to me.
I'm coming.
Qué carajo, Dios mío, este juego me... O sea, ahora están todos bárbaros.
As Mortimer had planned, Napoleon Bonaparte sold Louisiana to the United States after purchasing it from Spain. Bonaparte continued his political and military ascension until he proclaimed himself emperor. He went on to invade a large part of Central Europe. The legend of Napoleon persisted after his death, conferring on the emperor the role of Messiah for France. Remaining very popular, George Washington put an end to the various internal rebellions without violence and re-established trade agreements with Great Britain. Upon his death, he became a national hero and left an entire nation in a state of mourning. On his return to Spain, Manuel Godoy proceeded to give Louisiana up to France. Later on, he became the target of the Crown Prince of Spain, Ferdinand VII. The latter gave no respite to his mother's lover, going as far as condemning him to exile. He confiscated all of Manuel's titles and possessions, as well as those of his mistress, Pepita. Pursued, they ended up living out their last years in France in poverty and anonymity. The influence von Wollner had over King Frederick William ironically ended up working against him. The sovereign thrust him into increasing repression until the end of his reign. Von Wollner became the object of the people's hatred, was therefore stripped of his titles and land by the new king, and died in poverty to general indifference in the Prussian countryside. The Duchess, through her close ties with the crown, made it possible for Great Britain to build closer links with the United States on both the diplomatic and commercial fronts. She became inseparable from Marchioness Cunningham, reputed for being the most influential mistress of King George IV of England, and whom she inducted into the Golden Order. His Eminence was obliged to justify himself on his return from the British Isles over the letter he had sent to His Holiness. Unable to say more about the superior dark forces that he had spoken of, his mental health was brought into question. He was consequently withdrawn from papal state power, and became preferable to speak politely about a faraway retreat when referring to his anonymous confinement in an asylum of Rome. Sarah de Richet stepped down from the Golden Order and undertook numerous excursions to Eurasia in search of her son. She reportedly lived out her last moments in a yurt on the way back from the Verkhoyansk mountain range. She died ranting and raving about needing a new body. On his return from Paris, Peyroux resigned from his posting as judge at the revolutionary courts. He withdrew to the south of France with his daughter until his death. No more was ever heard of Lord William Mortimer. His sudden disappearance was the subject of conversations in the European courts, but only for a few months.
¿Y Luis? ¿Y nosotros? ¡Emoción! Pero quiero saber de nosotros. ¿No puedo saber? Señoras y señores, hasta aquí. Dejamos. ¡Qué fumada! No estoy en condiciones de precisar la cantidad de droga que consumieron los creadores de este juego, pero me vendría bien una cantidad similar para poder seguir mi vida. Ha sido thanks you. Ha sido una fumada más que interesante, pero increíble. O sea, lo recomiendo fuerte este juego. Lo recomiendo muy fuerte este juego. Y bien amigos, hasta acá llegamos con este capítulo, con el episodio final, con el final de esta serie, con el final de The Council, agregando un poco a lo que dije durante el directo. Un juego muy pero muy interesante, una aventura gráfica con una vuelta de tuerca muy llamativa. Hay varios juegos de este estilo de aventuras gráficas, pero esto de levelear el personaje, de ir teniendo habilidades, lo hacen bastante particular, y además con una historia muy pero muy llamativa, muy divertida, que la verdad que hasta cierto punto el camino de Council parecía de una manera y de repente en el tercer capítulo todo cambia. Primero creíamos que todas estas cuestiones de ciencia ficción eran locuras de nuestra madre y finalmente eran todas ciertas, y el juego da un vuelco por completo con un final que creo que estuvo muy bueno, pero les recomiendo jugarlo, obviamente el juego, o buscar, porque hay una gran cantidad de finales que todos dependen de las distintas alternativas que vamos eligiendo nosotros, de perder o ganar algunas de las confrontaciones. Bueno, todo ese tipo de cosas, todo ese tipo de detalles van afectando y dan lugar a varios finales. Hay muchísimos, así que insisto, les recomiendo jugarlo a ustedes el juego, o obviamente pueden buscarlo en YouTube porque hay una gran cantidad de alternativas. Y bueno, espero que hayan disfrutado de esta serie tanto como yo, y si les gustó el video obviamente les agradecería muchísimo su like. Cualquier cosa que tengan para decir pueden dejarlo en los comentarios, que por supuesto lo voy a estar leyendo. No olviden suscribirse y activar la campanita para que llegue la notificación cuando suba un próximo video, que pronto se viene mucho más contenido. Espero que lo hayan disfrutado amigos, muy rico todos, y más me despido. Cariños, Carlos.